There are a lot of aspects that make The Princess Bride a good movie. The writing, the story structure, characters, the absurdity, you name it. But my favorite aspect of this movie is how much fun it is.
No more rhymes now, I mean it! Anybody want a peanut? Yeah!
It's one of those movies that I can watch time and time again, but no matter how many times I see it, I always enjoy it just as much if not more than I did last time.
Inconceivable!
In large part, this boils down into good world building. Director Rob Reiner, along with William Goldman, who wrote the screenplay as well as the book on which it is based, both do a lot to make the film inviting and enjoyable to watch. First and foremost, the film slowly eases us into the world. The film starts out in Chicago before transitioning into the book, but this slow introduction to the fantasy continues in the world. It first starts out and seems medieval more than anything else. However, as the story moves forward, magic starts to creep in, making the transition fluid and just feeling natural.
That's a miracle pill.
But that's just part of it. So much about what makes this film feel so alive is the backstory that we're only hinted at. Be it the Dread Pirate Roberts, the tumultuous relationship between Florin and Gilda, or the history of Vizzini, we're told enough to pique our interest, but not enough to know the full scope of the world and all these stories that are within it. It makes us want to know more, and each of these stories could be movies in and of themselves, but instead they're just pieces in a greater story. Reiner employed a similar tactic when it came to shooting the film. He used a very dynamic camera, and liked to show off the entire setting, which in some ways makes it feel less cinematic and more natural. This was made possible because he shot the film on location around England and in Ireland for this scene. Almost all of these sets were historical sites or locations created for shooting, but nothing was shot on a backlot or on a soundstage. Everything is tangible and real. The final aspect of world building that I want to discuss today is the known unknown, and this mostly comes from the writing. It would be hard to argue that The Princess Bride is an original film. Goldman pulled inspiration from fairy tales, folklore, golden age Hollywood cinema, but it's also a postmodern deconstruction of all of these elements with a comedic twist on top. It's a story about stories and how we as society are shaped by stories, yet the entire time it remains fun and interesting with these ideas taking a backseat to the narrative. For this reason, the film connects with everybody. We've all heard stories that are similar. Our own subconscious and knowledge of storytelling helps add to the world that we are watching and weave everything together.
Who kills Prince Humperdinck? At the end, somebody's gotta do it. Is it Inigo? Who?
Reiner and Goldman were able to combine all of these elements and use its world building to help enhance the narrative and make a movie that is truly fun.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed. I've always loved The Princess Bride, and I'm glad I could finally discuss it here. If you're interested, be sure to read a little bit about the film's tricky production. It's a great story in and of itself, with a half dozen different directors signed on to direct at different points, including Francois Truffaut and Robert Redford. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a new video going up every Saturday. Until then, I put a link to my last video on Twin Peaks, so check that out if you're interested, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.